Susan Ingstrom, great question here. If product is imported from China, will it be blocked without a VGM in the United States or other complying countries after the grace period?
That's a good question, and I don't have an answer at the moment. It's going to be up to the carriers and you know, how they enforce this regulation. I think we're just going to, you know, I think it's going to be up to, you know, forwarders and carriers to work together to find out, you know, how are they going to impose this this regulation and see what actions they will take if something shows up on our shores without that VGM.
Yeah, I do think it's a great question, Susan, because we have to remember that this is being enforced in the country where it's coming from. So this would be like the China Coast Guard would have to enforce it against carriers in China.
Yeah, my understanding is if the box gets loaded and the vessel sails, you wouldn't have to worry about it being blocked by the receiving port, because it's as Kevin mentioned, it's the obligation of the vessel operators and whatever the regulatory agency at the port of loading is. So I really foresee that.
I do think it's a great question, because what would happen? I can foresee the U.S. Coast Guard weighing a container, seeing that it's overweight, coming from China, where you recommend, and I don't know that they would have any recourse here in the U.S., or would they report it back to China and China go after the carrier? I have no idea. I think it's a great question, and I think time will tell, because I'm almost positive this will come up sometime. Because the penalty is supposed to be no load on the vessel.